So thank you guys for coming and being a part of this webinar. We're really excited to spend some time with you. Number one of the things we pride ourselves on at Lodge Lovers is being personable with our hosts. I would say a good percentage of our hosts, well over 50% of our hosts, we've connected with on a personal level. So I always relish the opportunity to spend time with you and to be able to get to know our hosts a little better. I'm Josh Ellis. I'm the CEO of Lodge Lovers. And we're thrilled that we can share this time together. A couple of things before we introduce Lori that I just want to go through and keep everyone up to date upon. One is we have some exciting new updates for everyone to let you know some improvements and good things that are happening with the website here. We've had some recent upgrades and improvements that have been released. One of the things that we've recently upgraded and improved is on your profile page. We now have a space for you to enter in your full address field. Previously, it had been kind of a generic statement of where are you at? And we got all kinds of interesting comments on that question. Some people put outside of Boston or on the mountain or around the corner. We got all kinds of great answers. And we realized this doesn't do very much for us in the field of marketing to know where our hosts are actually located. We know where the rental properties are located. You got to put in your address for that. But we really don't know where our hosts are located. And second, that didn't do really well for us to have good security, good guest verification. So we realized we need to get full addresses. We now have that field there on your profile. Also on your profile page, you'll see that there's an opportunity to enter in a cell number. And we're excited about this because when you enter in that cell number, we're also going to be able to notify you via text message, SMS messaging, about booking inquiries. When someone is looking at your property and they want to reserve a date or they have a question about the property and they reach out to you through the platform with this addition, and once you verify your cell number, you'll receive not only an email, as you always have when these happen, but you'll also receive a text notification. So that's going to help us to improve our communication on the platform. You're going to know quicker when you have a notification coming in, and you'll be prompted to go log into your profile and check that. We're really excited about a couple integrations we're building. These are long awaited, long overdue, but we will have OwnerRez and Hostfully integration done in October. We're really shooting for October 1, maybe October 15. Worst case scenario by the end of October, but that is forthcoming. We're really excited about that because a lot of our hosts use OwnerRez and Hostfully, and by far these are the two most used on our platform, and we're excited to offer that integration option to those who do use them. We're also really excited about an affiliate program that's been launched. An affiliate program is essentially a way in which we can reward our hosts for sharing Lodge Lovers. We can reward guests for sharing Lodge Lovers. We can reward anybody who signs up to be an affiliate for sharing Lodge Lovers. And we will, that's live right now. Actually, if you go to our website, lodgelovers.com, you slide down to the footer menu, you'll see one of the footer menu options is called affiliate program. And that'll give you a way to sign up for that. We're really excited about it, especially for our hosts, to be able to share this platform. Essentially what's going to happen is everybody who shares and there's a booking made through that share through your unique affiliate URL, you get 2.5% of the booking. And if you recruit other affiliates to come underneath you to be downstream from you, there's a 1.5% reward for that as well. We're at the stage with Lodge Lovers where we have a little over 600 properties. We're really excited about that, but we need to get bookings. And so this is one of our ways that we hope to increase bookings and reward those who believe in what we're doing and are willing to share when those bookings do come in. All right, last thing I want to let you know is that we have some incredible guest verification software that we are using now. And this is really important because as we have integrated with SuperHog, SuperHog has the latest tech when it comes to guest verification. They do a wonderful job of eliminating problem guests and virtually eliminating fraud because of their verification process. Now, because we've integrated with SuperHog, we now offer a $5 million Lodge Love guarantee where we cover any comprehensive damage on our host property up to $5 million when there is a verified guest with SuperHog. This is unmatched in the industry. Nobody offers a guarantee like this. And the reason we're confident we can do that is because with SuperHog, with their verification process, like I said, we virtually eliminate problem guests. They do a great job of searching databases of problem guests. They verify people are who they say they are. Almost cuts out the risk of fraud happening with your short-term rental. So these are exciting things that we're really thrilled to be able to let you know about. When you get the opportunity and the chance, go to your user profile in Lodge Lovers. Put your full address in there if you haven't. Put your SMS, your cell number in there if you haven't. So that way you can be connected to those advanced verification opportunities. All right. Well, any questions on those latest updates and improvements with the Lodge Lovers platform? If not, I will first welcome Nika. Thank you for joining us, Nika. We kind of got going here and we went through some of the latest upgrades and improvements to the platform. We are recording, so you'll be able to check this later. But I want to take a moment and introduce to you a strategic new partnership we have with Lori Shaw and Lori Shaw Interiors. She's a short-term rental expert. She owns a design firm that helps property owners all over the U.S. And this partnership is aimed at giving you, our hosts, our owners, tools to make the absolute most out of your short-term rental investment. She's got a lot to show us and teach us and say to us. So, Lori, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Great. All right. I'm going to see if I can do this. Share my screen here. I've got a presentation to show you. All right. Okay, here we go. So, is it time for something more? So the things we're going to talk about tonight are some low-cost ideas for seasonal refreshes, as well as sort of leveling up your short-term rental property. So we're going to start with seasonal refreshes. So there's a couple of reasons why people do seasonal refreshes. One is that you are booked, your calendar is booked, but you want to, wow your guests. You want to give them the little extra things that will make them or inspire them to write the review saying, oh my gosh, the house was so adorable and they had all these cute things and it was so fall or it was so holiday-ish or whatever. So that is one reason, just really to go above and beyond and to really get those reviews. The second reason is if you are staring at a calendar with lots of holes in it where you're not booked through the holidays or through the fall, and you want to, decorate, refresh the property, take photos, and then use that to say, hey, it's a beautiful time to be in the North Carolina mountains. We just, refreshed our property for the fall. These are some of the fall festivals that are going, tie it all together into really promoting your property through the last months of the year to generate bookings. So those are a couple of reasons to do seasonal refreshes. And then, of course, leveling up your property, making more substantial things less, I wouldn't say less decorative, but less substantial or more substantial type of things that you want to do more in the off season. So we'll talk about that after we talk about just the seasonal refresh. So seasonal refresh is for those of you with properties that are still at least refreshing right now, is for properties that are still viable in the fall. So again, my mountain house is in my background here. It is a fabulous time to be in the mountains from now through the holidays. So this is a time when we want to go and put out some pumpkins and put a wreath on the door and that type of thing, and upgrade our photos to show all of that. If your property sits vacant once the summer season ends, so if you're a beach house, I mean, I know some beach houses still book up through the holidays, but others, you kind of close the doors as soon as the high season ends in the summertime, and you don't expect to open it back up, or maybe you don't even want to open it back up. You just kind of shut it down to bookings until next season. So if you're in that group, obviously you're not going to want to invest in refreshing for the holidays or anything like that. You're going to be more focused on that leveling up in the off season, which we'll talk about after this. So I put here, great places to find inexpensive seasonal decor. Target, Amazon, Michaels, Wayfair, Kirkland's Home, this cute little pumpkin pie pillow that I found. That's actually from Etsy, so I forgot to include them. But yeah, this is just like, Target does a terrific job of this. Like if you have a Target near you and you walk in that like $1, $3, $5 section, they'll have all their seasonal stuff right there. So it's super inexpensive. It's all really cute. They do a great job. So places like that are a really great place to pick up, for decor items for the fall. So here's another inspo that I wanted to show you, but setting up like a hot cocoa bar somewhere in your short-term rental. Fantastic for photos, looks adorable. I did put on here, it has to be sanitary. Obviously, you don't want a whole lot of like community jars of things that, kids will be sticking their hands in or anything like that in terms of toppings. But if you think it through and you have shaker bottles of things, individual packets of cocoa, like individual packets of things. This is a great thing to do when we get to this time of the year. This is also a great thing to do if you can't get to your property to refresh between each holiday. And this can kind of carry you through the winter at this point. And I put on here, it has to be sustainable for the entire season. So I know some people who maybe it's your first year with your short-term rental or something. They get super excited. They walk into Target, they see all the cute things, they buy a bunch of stuff, and they go to their house and they put it out. And then they take pictures and they advertise, we're ready for fall. And we have this great hot cocoa bar, and they'll take pictures and they'll put it out there. And maybe this is on, October 1st. And by October 20th, a couple of mugs are broken and gone, and we're out of the syrups, and several things are gone, and you never go back and refresh it. So now you've advertised, you've set an expectation for guests out there, and you did not plan on how to maintain that, how to refill everything, how to make sure that things look exactly like the picture every single time. And so that could be something that ends up biting you. You try to do something that's great and then you advertise it, but if you don't have a plan for maintaining that and making sure that everything is the way it looks in the pictures, then it's actually going to could end up being a negative, because you set an expectation that you then cannot meet. So you don't want to do that. So here we go. How do I go about the seasonal refresh? So here's how I tell people to do it. Come up with your game plan. What areas do you want to refresh? Are you going to do the outside entrance? Are you going to do anything in the kitchen? Do you want to do anything in the bedrooms? Where do you want to refresh? What is your budget for that? Try and figure out, are you going to spend $100? Are you going to spend $300? What is that number? So have that before you get started. And then decide again the timing. What dates are you or somebody else going to go there and do all of this? So if you look at your calendar and you're booked solid, how are you going to get into the house to do that? So do you need to right now, mark a day off on the calendar or something, plan ahead and say, this is the day that I'm going to go in and decorate, and make sure that you have that opening. And again, will you need to put out decor that gets you through how much? Do you live really close? Can you run over there and decorate for Halloween and then go over after Halloween and take it all down and put out your Thanksgiving stuff? And then immediately after Thanksgiving's over, is the house open for you to go and pull that and then put out your Christmas things if you're going to do that? So thinking through how many times can you realistically get there? And that's going to determine whether you need to, if you're going to do a refresh, are you decorating in October for the winter and not putting out pumpkins? You don't want to put out pumpkins in October and then not come back until January. That's, just not a great look for people to come at Christmas time and there are pumpkins in the, on the porch. So you really want to think through what is your capacity for doing this? Make a list of everything that you'll need and then shop either in one trip, in person, online. If you're doing online, just make sure that you're shopping for in stock, quick ship type of items so that you can have everything gathered together when you're ready to go. And then you plan for the install, keeping in mind the amount of time that it will likely take. Again, if you're just putting out a few things, no big deal. If you're potentially moving furniture around to create a coffee bar in a corner or something like that, just think about what you're going to need and how much time that is going to take. And then most importantly, photograph it. Once you have something like a little hot cocoa bar set up, or the front porch with a wreath outside and some pumpkins or whatever it is, definitely photograph that for your listing. And also for, if you're going to, advertise this in Facebook groups, trying to get bookings or something like that, but make sure you photograph it. You don't want to do that work and then not have it, because then you have those images and then you can, post those on your listing. You can post them in groups. You can maybe have those images for next year when next fall comes around, if you're going to reuse the decor, that type of thing. And make sure when you add the photography to your listing that it comes up to the front of your photos. Because if you have 50 photos on your listing, you don't want these new fall ones to be 48, 49, and 50. You want them to be 1, 2, and 3, or whatever, 3, 4, and 5, somewhere up near the front. You don't want those to get lost. So that is pretty much what I wanted to cover with the seasonal refresh. This is, light work kind of thing, but also it can really help you get bookings if you're looking at a calendar that's not very full. It can be a really nice way to sort of like breathe some new life into your listing and get some bookings for this time of year. So now we want to talk about the off-season level up. This is a more in-depth type of exercise than the refresh. So maybe this is now for maybe beach house owners. Again, if you close the doors at the end of the summer and you're not going to reopen them again until next beach season, then now is the time that you can start thinking about what you might want to do at your property. Maybe it's after the holidays for some homes, depending on where they are. And maybe you are the lucky person that has year-round interest in your short-term rental property. And so there is no off season for you. So that would be something, again, where you would need to plan for it and think ahead and say, okay, I want to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to book a week in November, whatever I think is the most, unlikely time that people will need to be or will want to be in the house, and plan ahead for that. So how to go about the exercise of deciding what you can do to your property to sort of level it up. Always cover the basics first. So there's no reason for you to go into your property and try to figure out how you can add a fire pit in the backyard if you've got all kinds of, peeling paint and a really ugly, front yard with dead plants and all that kind of stuff. Like, really always want to cover the basics first. So this is sort of the exercise that I would go through. As I enter my property, what do I see? So really try to look at it objectively. If you can't look at it objectively, have a friend do it and say, listen, do me a favor, go over to my property, do a recording on your cell phone or something like that of like what your first impression is, what you see, or what are things that bug you about the property or look off to you or anything like that. So really getting that independent view of things. So as I enter, what do I see? Are there things that could be cleaned up? Could I add better lighting, better signage? let's see here, sorry. Could it be more inviting? Does anything need repaired or repainted? Is any fencing leaning? Do I have dead patches in my grass? Do I need a new layer of gravel down? Like, is there, tufts of grass coming up through? Like, just really looking at it objectively to see, if you're a super picky guest, what are you seeing that you could change? And is that something that you should do? Is it a viable thing for you to work on in your off season or downtime? So this next slide, continue this process as you enter the house. So making lists as you go, but really important, this doesn't have to be the same exercise as like an annual walkthrough. If you go through and you're taking inventory of like what's broken and needs replaced, or, what silverware went missing, or how many wine glasses are broken and gone, or whatever. This is a little bit different than that. You don't want to get lost in the weeds. This is a more creative process than a nuts and bolts walkthrough. So you're first looking to bring your property up to a really high standard, a really good baseline. Then you can start to think about adding amenities. Okay, so you've got your bases covered. Your property meets a high standard baseline. So your kitchen's well stocked, your sheets and towels are in great condition, your upholstery's clean, all that stuff. That is not the exercise that we're going through. After you have all that finished and you're back to like a really solid baseline where everything is good and it's in really good working order in your property, and you want to do something more, what are some ideas? So there are a million, obviously, and it really depends on the budget, the timing, how far you want to take it, what financial position are you in? Are you, making good money with the property? Are you kind of not making what you need to make? All of those things. There are a lot of factors that go into this, but there are two inexpensive options that are my two go-tos when you really kind of want to level up. One, look for the nooks. I love a good nook. So if you see this picture here, and I credited them at the bottom, this is an image from a website called mamapapabubba.com. But you see here, she took a little tiny closet that I guess, this is probably in a kid's room, but look how cool, they transformed this. So you put like a soft mat down on the floor, some pillows, she put some bookshelves there, hung like a curtain, which this could be a cool sheet or anything like that. And now it becomes like this super cool little area. Like if my kids, walked into a short-term rental and found this in the bedroom, like they would be super excited. This is kid central right here. So really just these type of things. I mean, that's an amenity right there. Like for $100 or less, that is an amenity in your property. I mean, sure, maybe you need the closet. If you need the closet, then obviously, that you have to factor that in. But if it's something where this is going to get you more bang for your buck than having it as just a plain Jane, nothing closet, this is an amenity. You could photograph this, you put it on your listing site, and kids love this kind of stuff. So look for the nooks. Do you have bare walls, an unused little nook, an empty corner of a room? I've taken the corner of a living room for a client of mine, and we did like a hanging teepee type of thing that hung from the ceiling. And so it's in the living room. So the parents, our older people are there watching TV, sitting on the couch, but we took this corner of the living room that otherwise we would have, like, I don't know, put nothing in, or maybe a fake plant. And instead we hung this thing from the ceiling. And again, put a soft surface on the bottom, threw some pillows in there. Now you've got like a place where kids can play hide and seek or whatever it is while the grown-ups are watching TV. And again, it's just like something unexpected, a little bit extra. So I'm always asking my clients to think about looking around your space with fresh eyes and thinking, are there spaces in here that you could turn into something, that they could become an amenity, that they could become a photo op, something like that. So there's all kinds of possibilities. Number two, have you met my BFF, my best friend forever, wallpaper? And I think in the industry, wallpaper has gotten a bad rap. When people think of wallpaper, they think of, pink flamingos, something crazy, South Beach, Miami type of thing. It absolutely is not, it does not have to be that. In most homes, that doesn't make sense. It's not about what is the craziest thing that you can put on a wall and take a picture of it. That is not the goal. This is a really high quality removable wallpaper from a company called Ayara. Wallpaper adds interest and a depth that just cannot be achieved with painting a wall a solid color. So I just love wallpaper for that purpose. And again, wallpaper in a regular primary residence, you know, people will tell you that the accent wall is over, that you don't want to just do one wall in something. For a short-term rental, I think it's kind of fine to do one wall. When I walk into a bedroom, or when I'm looking at a floor plan for a client and I'm envisioning walking in the bedroom, I'm always thinking, where's the photo here? So where's the photo for the listing? And I'll put the wallpaper on that wall because there's a great opportunity to capture just the wall. It's usually the wall behind the bed. So you've got that straight on image, the bed in front of the wall, and the two nightstands and the lamps. And that's really all you need to make a really great image for your listing. So I am a huge fan of wallpaper. On that topic, some of my favorite wallpaper sources, and there's a million of them, but I just quickly put down kind of my go-tos and some ones to think twice about in case you're on the fence about starting with wallpaper. So Ayara, I mentioned them, they're peel and stick. Milton and King is a company of Australia. Theirs is more traditional wallpaper, so it's more of the paste. It's the paste the wall kind. So you literally put the wallpaper paste on the wall like you're painting a wall. So you use a roller and you just put up the wallpaper paste, and then you put up the sheet of wallpaper and you kind of like shimmy it because the wall's wet with the paste, shimmy it into position, and that's it. So it is not as detailed as it used to be. It doesn't take as long. We're not like folding it on top of itself, nothing like that. It just goes up dry on the wall. So it's pretty easy to do. And then Hovia is a great one for full length, like wall murals. So you can go to their website, you can find a mural that you really like, and you send them the dimensions of your wall, and they will resize the image to fit perfectly on your wall. You can go back and forth with them if you want to see if it's a mountain range and you want the mountain range to be higher on the wall because it's going to go behind a bed and the bottom part is kind of going to be hidden. Or if you want it moved to the left or right, they will work with you to pretty much customize their mural to fit your wall the way you want to see it. So they're fantastic. I've had terrific luck with them in my projects. These are the ones down here at the bottom that I would say think twice about. So I have a client that just finished a 5-bedroom, 4-bath house. We were talking about her in Minnesota. She bought 2 murals from Wall Blush. The first time they shipped it to her, they shipped her the wrong mural entirely. So she had to return that and wait for a replacement. And P.S., she had a wallpaper installer lined up to come. So now you've got to delay that person, find somebody else, that type of thing. The second mural that came from Wall Blush, her installer started putting it up. He put up the first panel. It was great. He gets to the second panel and there's a huge mark in the wallpaper. It is unusable. So now again, she's on the phone with Wall Blush. She's trying to get a replacement, a refund, all that kind of stuff. So this is the first time I've ever had a client use Wall Blush. She had heard really great things. I told her I hadn't heard of them. And so now I know I would not use them again. Tempaper is a removable wallpaper company. So another peel and stick. And I only used their paper once. It was some of the hardest paper I've ever had to use, and I've used a ton of peel and stick. So I don't like Tempaper. So if you're new to the wallpaper game, I would just be really careful of those two unless you know somebody firsthand that's had a really good experience. I have not. All right, so now I'm just going to go through just to kind of wrap things up. I just wanted to share with you like 5 of my cardinal rules of short-term rental design, sort of as like a little bonus above and beyond what we were talking about with the refreshes. First of all, anything a body touches needs to be comfortable. So that includes chairs, sofas, beds, towels, sheets, blankets, flooring like rugs, etc. So if you just ask yourself, if a body's going to touch it, it needs to be comfortable. So that's kind of where you want to focus your spend versus things that won't be touched by a body. Number 2, guests need to have access to privacy and darkness when and if they want it. So this means at a bare minimum, coverings on all the bedroom and bathroom windows. And in the bedrooms, you'll want to ensure that you can provide light-free sleeping conditions for those who really value that. So that's a huge thing. I see it all the time. People get dinged because they pull the blackout curtains closed and there's light coming in around the edges. So using French return curtain rods that wrap around instead of going straight across, or that's one of the things that you can do, but you really want to test it yourself before your property goes live, if it's a new property, to make sure. That is a huge thing and something that people won't hesitate to ding you on in reviews. 3, and I'm sure everybody knows this is no one's primary residence. So whether or not you personally watch TV in your bedroom, like rugs in all the rooms, need blackout curtains to sleep, etc., is irrelevant. As a short-term rental owner, you are in the hospitality industry. So the same as a 5-star hotel, you want to try and anticipate everything your guests could possibly want or need within reason and provide it for them. That's how you earn rave reviews and 5-star ratings. Number 4, when it comes to bedding and towels, I think light, bright, and clean, not dark and sketchy. This is another area where you have to put your personal preferences to the side. You may love a black comforter, but for guests, it really may provoke that ick response. I'm one of those people. I don't know what's hiding on there if it's dark. So you really don't want that. It may hurt your soul to do all white bedding and towels, but my opinion is that's the best choice for a hospitality setting. And 5, my final one, is all about the photography. I really cannot stress this one enough. Your design has to be about how it's going to photograph. So when you're doing your design and where to put the chair and where to put the plant and all of that, you really have to be thinking about it like through how it's going to look through a camera lens. The photography has to be perfect for short-term rentals, which is extremely different from real estate photography. Real estate photography is taken from far away. It's at weird angles. It's meant to sell a house. Short-term rental photography, although you do have to take those from a distance shot so people understand the layout, you can also just include a floor plan so they can see the layout. But short-term rental photography should be closer, should be more personal. It should be about selling an experience, not a house. You could have the coolest property ever, but if your design doesn't stand out, and I'm not talking about neon signs covering the walls, and your photography doesn't draw people in, you'll be lost in the crowd. So the photography. And that is the end of my spiel. I put on here, my website is laurieshawinteriors.com. My email is up there, laurieshawinteriors@gmail. And if you go to my website on the contact page, there is a place where you can leave a link to your listing, and I will take a look and email you with my top 3 takeaways from viewing your listing of things that kind of jump out to me as opportunities for improvement. And that is it. I'm going to stop my share and see if anybody has any questions. I see Milton and King have amazing wallpapers. Yes, they do.
Yes. I just wanted to say thank you. Really excellent. Thank you for sharing. The 2 takeaways that I got were number 1, the photography. Like, I've taken all the pictures from mine and they're pretty good.
Yeah.
But thank you for saying that experience and the personal part is really important. And I can get in and I've got to go back in and take some closer up photos.
Yes.
Yeah, and the wallpaper idea, I really appreciate that. I don't have any wallpaper in my space, but I did paint 2 murals because I'm very creative. I have a degree in design, so and I've painted murals before. But anyway, thank you. I really appreciate your time and your thoughts.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Cindy, I know you came in late, but we will be posting the recording of this on our social, and we'd love for you to go back and watch the beginning of it. Any questions from you?
Joshua, I wanted to also say thank you for your share in the beginning, specifically for me, understanding that you guys are going to be working with OwnerRez and Hostfully. I'm in the process right now of working with Boostly. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Boostly. They're out of the UK. They help with website design because I'm working on creating direct site along with my other stuff. So
Yes.
thank you. I'm excited for that you guys are partnering with them. Thank you.
Yeah. So you currently use Boostly, you said.
Boostly, I just hired them. I
Okay.
I have my third meeting tomorrow, and they're a website design company based out of the UK. Yeah, 80% of
Not
their
a property management software.
no,
Okay.
no, it's a website design company. 80% of their clients are in the US.
Yeah.
And yeah, so yeah, I'm really excited. I'm working with a woman. Tomorrow I have my third meeting. So I'm still putting together copy and ideas,
Yeah.
and I'm hoping to launch sometime in December. So,
Okay.
but I'm excited that you guys are going to partner with them. And the other thing that the I just think it's really great. Your guest verification thing with Superhog. I'm just really excited. So I look forward to partnering more with you guys.
Yeah. We need to talk to Anne more. She's really excited about everything.
Well, I'm just grateful. I noticed on I'm not on Facebook as much as I probably should be, but I
Yeah.
saw this webinar and I was like, oh, I gotta get on. And it's so intimate. I'm like, I feel like I'm in the beginning, and I'm like, I get to watch this whole thing occur. And anyway, Jim and I have had a few conversations, and I just, I love the Lord. So knowing that I'm working with a company that's centered around, God's plans really blesses my heart. Thank you.
Well, we love knowing we're partnered with people with shared values and beliefs. That's important to us too. All right. Well, I think this will wrap up our seminar. Thank you everyone for joining and being a part. We look forward to growing with you. Please get a hold of Lori if you have any further questions or would like to talk to her more about our services.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to see everyone's listings and chat more.
Yep.
Sounds great. Thanks very much, everybody.
Yes.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, everyone.